Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, mahaba, moni moli wanji, namaste, jambo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jevly, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We are coming to you from the beautiful neighborhood of Reedville in the southwest corner of Boston, Massachusetts. We are so delighted and so very honored that you are joining us in our mission to help families grow closer through reading. Please be sure to subscribe to the show in the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you find your podcast. Our guest today is Phillip Reed. He is joining us from the United Kingdom to celebrate his wonderful picture book. It's called Kookie Koala and the Problem. Before we invite Phillip into the studio, we want to let you know that this episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast is brought to you by LaurenKirsten.net. Are you looking for books about courage, strengths, friendships, foster care, and, dragons? Who doesn't love dragons? Well, look no further than LaurenKirsten.net. Lauren Kirsten is the author of the Rosie the Dragon and Charlie series. She's also the author of Home for a While. If you want to laugh, cry, learn swimming and bedtime tips, and find great social emotional strategies, then please check out LaurenKirsten.net. LaurenKirstein.net. Lauren's books blend her Jersey Girl humor with her psychotherapist heart. Check it out today. LaurenKirsten.net. Joining us right now from the United Kingdom, our guest is here today to celebrate a brand new picture book. It's called Kookie Koala and the Problem. Please welcome to the show, Phillip Reed. Hey, Phillip, how are you?
Hey, hi, thank you for letting me be here. It's amazing. Thank you.
I'm excited to have you on. Isn't it wonderful? We are living in a time right now where you and I were on different sides of the ocean, or of the pond, as you might say. And
right.
We're able to speak to each other. We're able to see each other, look into each other's homes. And I could never imagine this when I was growing up.
It's amazing. The world is getting smaller.
Yes.
And that's got to be a good thing, hasn't it? The fact that we can understand other cultures and we can talk to each other, like you say. I mean, I remember not so long ago that we would be on the phone talking to someone across the pond, as you say, and there would be a delay. You'd have to wait for the reply.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
absolutely.
yeah, no, it's great. Technology is a great thing if used properly. Yeah, absolutely.
It is. And that's an important thing. And we really hope that the parents listening to this will not only help their kids understand what a gift technology is, but how important it is to use this gift, this tool, in a proper way.
So I was just going to say that you're absolutely right. And technology, everyone's got phones, everyone's got things. It's all great, but they've got to be used as a tool, like you say.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm really excited to talk to you about Kookie Koala and the problem. Tell us about the problem, please.
Okay, so this book it's a picture book. It's I was thinking basically, how can you make educational point about teaching children how to deal with problems entertaining? Because to me, if you can make a child laugh, or you can get an emotional reaction from a child, you're going to get a better response. So this is why I came up with this idea of Kookie, who's a koala, as we've established. He wakes up one morning and there's the word problem at the end of his bed. It's a very small little word, and he decides to basically ignore it in the first instance, and he just puts it outside the door and thinks, I won't have to worry about that. But like all adults, we will know that if you ignore a problem, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So he has to basically, he will go through a whole range of emotions about how he deals with it. He gets angry at it. He blames other people. He tries to hide it. So there's all different things that, I think we all do at different stages of our life about when we're dealing with problems. It's only when he actually faces the problem and gets some help from his granddad that he actually gets it resolved.
Yeah. Well, that's a great message, and it as you said, it's a message that is important for kids to hear, but also important for adults to hear. I think more adults than kids.
Well, actually, I've had a lot of response from adults as well, saying this is a great lesson for adults.
Yeah.
And this is partly why another reason why I enjoy doing it so much is that to do a story, I mean, there are some great, there's loads of great stories. Absolutely. You know, there's so many stories now. And again, the technology is allowing us all to get, to do this. But to do a story where you can have the adult enjoy it as much as the child as well. That's what I was trying to do something that the adult might get something slightly different from it. And there's different layers on how things are dealt with. So you can, as you go through the story, an adult may get more out of it or different things from it than a child would. But in each case, doesn't matter the age of the child. I've had, very, very young children enjoy the story because they like Cookie. They don't necessarily know all the details about what's going on, maybe, but older children, say between 4 and 8 certainly would do. And it just gives it's just a way for everybody to enjoy the whole process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was there a problem that you had ignored that kind of inspired this book?
There's probably many. Too many to even count. Yes, it is autobiography. But no, there's certain things. There's nothing specific I could think of. But I just know that it's how you deal with the problem is important, and how to teach how to deal with that. And I think, like I say, many adults even today probably will do exactly the same thing. They'll ignore it, hide it, blame other people, the usual kind of thing.
Yeah. And I love that in your story, Cookie was able to solve the problem with the help of his grandfather.
Yes.
I think those multi-generational relationships are so important. They're so wonderful, and I think we should definitely celebrate them any chance we have.
Absolutely. And that was a kind of a two-pronged thing. That was definitely, as you say, to talk about the different relationships you can have, and we turning to somebody else as well, turning to somebody when you need help. That's the other thing. But certainly, knowing that your adults in your life, your guardians, your parents, your grandparents, aunties, uncles, these are all people that have got experience and they can help you, and again, problems we know can cause anxiety. Mm-hmm. And this is the kind of thing that you want to relate to children, and that talk to somebody, and it certainly can help.
Yeah. Hey, Philip, do you think that there's a way that we can take a collection or something and send copies of Kookie Koala and the Problem to some of the heads of state around the world who seem to be...
I think that's a brilliant idea. I like that. I think that could certainly resolve a lot of issues. Absolutely. Yes. We're definitely on board for that. Yeah. Definitely. Brilliant idea.
So you've been illustrating and writing children's books for how long now?
Okay, so I basically first self-published in 2018. So 3 years. I've done 5 of my own books. So there is another Cookie book, Kookie Koala and the Pack of Lies, which are obviously about telling lies. There's a couple of other books which I have. The Knight's Day Job, which I'm really pleased has just won the kidlitworld.com Picture Book Award. So that's really good. Really good. The kidlitworld.com. And I've got the other thing I was going to say to you, I understand that you're dealing with bullying this month as well. So my first book was Wild Woolly, and it is about bullying, and it's from the perspective of the bully, in fact, and it's a cautionary tale, basically, and that because Woolly thinks he's the biggest cat there is, and basically uses that to bully people, obviously. Then he discovers he's not the biggest, so. It's a cautionary tale, so I thought that would be interesting for your readers.
Yeah, definitely. Can you tell us a little bit more how that story evolves?
How I came up with the idea, or
Sure, yeah.
the actual story itself?
Yeah.
Well, again, ironically, I was actually given a challenge by my girlfriend. She's because I said I liked rhyming stories. That's the other concept, is that I think is important. Well, not necessarily important, but it helps. I think with having a rhyming story, I think works well because it allows the story to flow, and both the child can get in with the rhythm, and the adult enjoys doing it as well. But with that story, the Wild Willie story, she challenged me. She gave me 3 words to make a story. The story, and 3 words were bully, lion, and because she doesn't like me very much, was hospital water jug.
Okay. I think that's 3 words in itself.
Exactly, the most random thing. And so basically, yes. So there is. I think I've kind of given away the story there in those 3 elements. But yeah, it was great fun. I really enjoyed coming up with the story, making it work, and illustrating as well. Yeah. Love it.
When you're creating a book, I'm guessing that book, you wrote the story first and then illustrated it. But typically, are you illustrating stories first and coming up with the words after the pictures are envisioned in your head, or is it story first and then illustration?
It's normally do you know what? It can be either. Mm-hmm. I'll have an idea that will either a character. So Kookie, if you see Kookie, he's an unusual looking koala in the fact he's got very pronounced ears. They stick out quite far. And if you go to my website or follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll see where the actual origination of the character came from. And it was a design of a shower curtain. It was just a pattern. It was a pattern that I saw, and I could see this koala from this pattern. And then it formed basically the character. And then I kind of looked at the character and I thought, well, what kind of personality is this person, And yeah, I just built the story from there. And each one of my characters is a character, a real person to me, They actually talk to me. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But there are other times when I will have an idea for a story and then I will fit a character to match the story.
Cool. Now, do you often take challenges from your girlfriend or other folks to create stories?
Well, I have done. I've done a couple. This one was the first one where I've actually published the book. But I actually put a challenge in the back of that book, and I said, "Look, hey, if you want to challenge me, you give me 3 words, and I'll see if I can come up with a story for it."
All right. I think I think we should extend that challenge to people listening here. It would be fun to see what they might want to send you.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, any 3 things that you want to put together, obviously that are not copyright by anybody else, or rude or anything else like that. But absolutely, it's one of my greatest pleasures is coming up with. It's like a jigsaw puzzle for me, making all the bits fit together, and I just enjoy the whole process.
Yeah. I'm as I'm sitting here listening, I'm thinking that this would be a great. I'm always imagining, what kind of conversations families can have as they're reading an author's book, experiencing the illustrations. And I'm thinking that after listening to this, a family could sit down and just do this as an exercise. Hey, I'm the mom. I'm going to give you 3 words, son, daughter. I want you to create a story, and I want you to give me some too. And
absolutely.
That would be a great way to spend an evening together.
That is a great idea. And it's a shame we hadn't had this conversation before when we were during lockdown. That would have been a great thing to do. And the other side, on the illustrated side, a little game that I play with my children, I did. I mean, to be honest, they're getting too old for it now, but would be to basically get a pencil and a paper, just do a scribble. Just do a scribble and then give them that and say, right, what can you make from that? What do you see Is it a character? Is there something you can make from that? And, just see just play with it, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another artist, I was at, I was at an art gallery, and I'm not the art gallery kind of guy, so I was feeling out of place, and I was looking, and there was some art that really was speaking to me, and there was other contemporary stuff that was like, yeah, that's weird.
Sure.
And somehow I ended up standing next to an artist of one of the pieces I really liked, and I said to him, "Hey, my wife, my beautiful wife, is a teacher, and she works with special needs kids. Is there you have an interesting way of creating here? Is there an exercise I can tell my wife to do with her kids?" And he suggested something very similar, taking actually 2 pens on a blank piece of paper and playing cat and mouse. One is the mouse and the cat is chasing it, and then whatever scribble you come up with, use that as the foundation to create something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's one of the great ways of coming up with something you just would never have thought of.
Mm-hmm.
Just never would have thought of, and again, it's the like you say, it's a way to communicate. You can communicate with that way. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. And that's fun too. It's a lot like sitting down with our kids and looking up at the sky and seeing the different things in the clouds. I think that little moments like that where we're just being vulnerable with our kids, we forget how valuable those moments are when we're together, and it's like, well, I see this, well, I see that. It's not only gives you a look inside how your kid is thinking and how your kid sees the world, but it's also a way into each other's heart, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I can't say I can actually agree with you because I haven't grown up yet. But, no, but seriously though, yes, I totally understand. I mean, it is that thing of just that wonder, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? You just, and I every opportunity just to see that wonder when you read to a child, and read with a child, and you can take, like you say, on some of your other podcasts, you can take them to places you'd never have thought of. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think it's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great way to spend your time.
Now, you shared with us that you first published back in 2018. Was there, had you always dreamt of being a children's author and illustrator? Was there something that happened in 2018 that actually made you take the leap?
Well, yeah. I mean, there was a bit of a personal problem that basically where I had it gave me time to reflect. Let's put it this way. So it was like I got to the point. I turned 50 this year. So I was heading towards 50, and I'm thinking, what is it I want to do? I'm not happy with the way things are. I just thought this is, I love illustrating, and I love coming up with stories, and I love reading to my kids. So, I would love the whole process, coming up with the voices and everything, Yeah. So it just all fit into one. It just made a lot of sense. You put all those together, and making children's books makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Wonderful. Now, I know you also are available to illustrate for other authors. Have you done a lot of that work?
I have. I've been very lucky to work with some great and very talented authors. I've done a range of things. I've worked predominantly with children's books, but I've done some other stuff as well. And I'm working on a project at the moment, which it looks very exciting. For an author called Catherine Hamilton. It's again, that's another aspect in the fact that seeing the joy, not only from a children's perspective, but when you're bringing another author's work to life, you can see, and the comments that you get from them when you get it right. And they're like, oh my God, that's exactly how I imagined that character. And you just think, right, you're bringing joy to this person as well. And you're bringing their vision to life. And that too is a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have a really neat style of illustration. It's, It's fun, and I don't know. Is there a name for the style?
No, I'm not sure that there is. I go for a very simplified. I have worked and done much more complicated works, but for Cookie in particular, it just seemed to be the right style, and I've got a lot of positive feedback from it. In that it is one of the great comments I do get is that I'm even though there is not a huge amount to the actual drawings themselves a lot of the time, it's that I can express the emotions, and that this is a great comment, and I love that, and it's just with a simple few strokes with a pencil, or or it's all mostly digital now. You can get an expression, or and you can get the real character of the character. So that is too. I just enjoy doing that. Just enjoy that style. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Hey, how can you, if there's a parent out there who has a child who really loves to draw and to create art, is there something that you can suggest a parent can do to really support that child's creativity?
It's literally just putting pen to paper. It is, and that's the kind of thing that will put us kind of jaded older people off. It's, I can't draw, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's just do it. And that's the thing. When you're a child, I think you've got less inhibitions. You're just going to go for it. You're just going to enjoy yourself and have fun. And that's what you've got to do. Just pencil to paper, and just enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I know people are going to want to know where they can go to find out more about Cookie and find out more about you.
Absolutely. Well, Cookie has his own Instagram page, which is at Cookie _. So that's Cookie with a K, at Cookie _ books. And you can follow me as well at the Phillustrator.
The Phillustrator?
The _Phillustrator.
All right.
So Phil and Illustrator together.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a great time speaking to the author and illustrator of Kookie Koala and the Problem, Phillip Reed. Hey, Phillip, thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much, Jedley. It's been absolutely awesome. Great time. Thank you.
Please be sure to join us for the next episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be Kat Harrison. She'll be here to celebrate migraine and Mia, a picture book about migraine headaches. It's really fun, but it's also really informative. If you are the author of a fantastic children's book, we want to help you celebrate that book. There are so many ways that we can help you tell the world about your great book. You can be a guest on the podcast. You can submit your book to our Certified Great Read panel. You can also take part in our monthly promotion program. Great ways to let the world know about your book. You can learn all about them by going to our website, readingwithyourkids.com. Click on the Authors Click Here button at the top of the page and scroll on down to the various services. Also want to encourage you to join us on social media, facebook.com/readingwithyourkids, at readingwithyourkids on Instagram, at Chevy Magic on Twitter. Want to thank the folks who made today's show so wonderful. Of course, want to start by thanking our guest, Phillip Reed. Be sure to check out Kookie Koala and the Problem. Also want to thank our sponsor, LaurenKirsten.net. Be sure to check out her books, Home for a While, and, of course, the Rosie the Dragon and Charlie season. Also want to thank my team, Alejandra Doherty, Fatima Khan, Michael Murphy, Rory Grady. I want to thank my beautiful wife for all the support she gives me. Most of all, we all want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And as always, thank you so very much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.